Welcome to the Russian Blue Listening Party. We got this pretty sweet local band putting out a record. It's out tomorrow, and they're going to be having a record release party at the Roxy Theater January 31st, next Saturday. And Smokestack wanted to hijack this because we've been following your band for a few months, years. And now we have the opportunity to interview you. So tell us about this new record. What are you excited about? What does this hold for the listening public?
Well, I mean, I'm just pretty pumped. We've been sitting on this for a very long time. This has been done in various forms for several years, and it's a big change for us. You know, this is year 10 of us playing together.
Year 10.
And yeah, it was a big shift for us to move into keyboard synth territory, and I think we're just excited to, show that off a little bit.
That leads to the first question. How many synths is too many synths?
We haven't found that number yet.
Yes, we don't have the answer.
We found not enough a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right now, not enough.
There's a great quote that says, you can't ever tell somebody what the edge is because the only body who really knows is the ones who've gone over.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your quest.
That's really what the record's about, is the quest to find how many synths we can fit on stage.
Ultimately.
What are we at now?
10?
10 synths.
Live.
Yeah, I mean,
More
on
than
the,
that on the
on the album, way more than that. But.
Yeah.
Did you keep track of how many synths were on the album?
No, I should have in retrospect, but there was a lot of like borrowing from friends and then buying one or trading for one, and then those went out the window, and then we traded for something else. And yeah, probably over 40, I would think. But yeah, it was fun. It's basically just a document of fiddling around and figuring out how to use synths.
So where did that start, the whole progression into synths? You know, I remember seeing Russian Blue kind of as a 4-piece, maybe 5-piece. You got bass, you got guitar and vocals, you got a secondary guitar. When did the synths come into your band?
Well, I mean, there was always like, on all the albums we did, there was always like some little keyboard thing. I mean, we started with piano when we were first in like high school doing the 3-piece thing, but and then there was like a few tracks here and there that were synthy, but I always thought it was kind of intimidating. I can't exactly remember what was the exact.
It was the new backseat.
Yeah, that was the first like real like.
You
That was
sent
our
it to
debut.
me.
That's a
and
song off the record.
Yeah,
the new
it
record.
is the new record. You sent it to me. I don't know how long ago now.
A
3
bit.
years.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 years ago.
And we'd never done anything synth before, ever, except for this keyboards thing. And I remember listening to it for the first time. I was like, "Oh, that's going on the next record. You have no choice. It's going on there. It's so good."
Done.
Yeah.
I didn't like it when I sent it
I know,
to you, though.
I remember
and
that.
you were, I think you sent me like a voice message
I did.
with you and Billy being like, which was really, I don't think we would have done it if not for that, actually. Because I was like, this is just something, you know.
'Cause
Why
we
did you not like it?
I don't know, it just felt so, before that it was all about like, I was like really in like Radiohead. And like, you know, I think we were kind of moving in that direction with like more art rock guitar things. And I was just like, yeah, no, this is kind of fun. And I think it inadvertently opened an avenue to be a lot more emotional without, I don't know, for me, literally without the distraction of playing a guitar, but more, you know, artistically, it just provided a different backdrop for lyrics that was kind of new.
Sonically, the depth is vast, right? Like you can get lost in so many different pieces of this new album. You can follow the lyrics, you can follow the bass, you can follow all the synthy things. But another very pertinent question is, what happened to the lamps? You guys used to have lamps lighting up each, but not so much anymore. Where are the lamps at?
I don't know.
Great question.
There's so much shit on stage.
Yeah, we
replaced them with more synths.
Yeah.
Well, we can hardly fit the whole band on couches.
No,
So.
yeah, I think that is kind of what that was we wanted 2 synths and a lamp on my case stand thing, and I was like,
they're drinking a cocktail. You were just looking.
I
so
remember
cool.
that show. It looked
I was
cool,
like,
but it was like,
does this lamp have to be here? Like, like it's gonna fall, and I had no place to put my drink.
I mean, that's
the most important part.
Well, I was gonna say, beyond the synths, there's also just been this general expansion of like cocktail area for you and Patrick. That's been a huge point of like, we need to figure out where the drinks fit.
We've trained for this, and we need to follow through.
You know how to drink them. Now, where do you put them?
How many can we stand?
Mm-hmm. I mean, even today you had like a coffee, a soda, olive juice, wine.
I'm a
Stay
beverage
hydrated.
kind of girl, yeah.
Really representative.
But I think also they were just
beverages.
they were also like always haphazardly thrown in the band, the lamps.
Sure.
So it was like
Dangerous.
That's true. They did break a couple
I
times.
could, yeah, and I
How
was
many
like,
lamps have you broken?
I
the
think
years?
probably only 2. Yeah,
2?
It wasn't like, which is pretty good considering the amount of times they
We
went
had
out.
at least
but-
6 or 7 at each show.
Yeah.
So only 2.
Good track record.
Not bad.
Pretty good batting
We didn't
average.
like break them. It was just, like when your lamp at home breaks, it's like the base gets loose.
Yeah, they fall apart.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of lamp repair anymore. You know, it's hard to find.
We've been looking.
It's really annoying.
Maybe a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bremerton lamps.
Lamps are up.
Where are you?
Lamps. Lamps are us. That might be a trademark.
That's what we'll do
It
post
better
band.
be. Somebody better have lamps are us.
So you guys do travel for shows. I think you just played the Spanish Ballroom
Yeah.
recently.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going down to California soon, is that correct?
Yeah. The weekend after next, we're doing Santa Rosa, Los Angeles, and San Diego.
Dang. What
And the-
brought that on?
Well, this is the 3rd time that we're
Okay.
trying to go down there.
Trying.
Because the first time COVID happened and we had to cancel the whole thing. And then the second time, it was like our first thing after COVID. Well, not after, but you know what I mean, when shows were opening back up.
Fallout, yeah.
And then we got COVID.
Okay.
And couldn't go down and play.
Right.
Which is actually how I got intimately acquainted with Patrick here, who was in the band The Banana Creatures, who was like our first tour mates. And I remember the first time I really felt passionately towards you was when you called me.
You gotta tone it down.
No.
You said intimate and then passionate. It's pretty fucking platonic.
He's married.
To be clear, it's pretty platonic.
I remember him saying when I was like, dude, we aren't gonna be able to make it to California. We got COVID. I remember Patrick being like, well, Banana Creatures is still going. We got the hunger. And that stuck with me, and that was one of the things that rattled around in my head when I was like, who could we bring into the thrall of this? Because I feel like you were pretty ambitious and hungry, as were the rest of us. And I don't know, good on you, man. I'd do it now.
Which is awesome, though, because the band has grown as well.
Yeah.
I talk about that, those few shows where I saw the, very analog guitar, bass, lamps thing. And now it's a different creature. Is there any way to speak towards the evolution of Russian Blue from Downpour to A Modern Analogue?
If I may.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I think the Modern Analogue is one of like the biggest debuts into how we transformed our sound. When Colin initially came to me to join Russian Blue, I had no idea, where our trajectory would lead. I had no idea that we were going to, enter this new realm of electronic sound, because it was something that I never really invested in. I grew up playing piano for a long time, and so that was something that I was focused on, and so, but I was a very open-minded individual as well. So when he came to me with Backbeat and a lot of the other demos, I was optimistic. I really was. I was, for one, I really was blown away by the sheer creativity in the matter.
deep.
It was really deep. Not to mention, it's very catchy. You know? I could just, anytime I turn it on, I just want to.
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah,
totally.
that's just everything about it, and I'm glad that we were able to take that step into trying, you know, new sounds and articulating new instruments into our group.
And I do think the lamps fit very well into that. I hate to harp on the thing, but it's
Lamps
just
on
a,
ours.
it's, you know, Bremerton Lamp Company, shout out.
Well, I think it was also because you came in at the transition, really, because for a while, I think I had always really wanted to, like, own a synth. I remember from being, like, a young teenager.
You never
Like,
owned one.
well, they're expensive. It's not easy to get your hands on, like, something that plays more than one note, something that, like, has weighted keys, something that you can actually fully dive into. And so that, I think, limited the potential to do that type of music. I was always really into like early 80s dance music, and I really like a band called the Magnetic Fields, and they did all sorts of stuff. I mean, they did like an indie rock thing, but they also had lots of just like bizarre electronics and sort of like boutique disco stuff, but put like really hyper emotional lyrics over sort of like very artificial sounding music. So anyway, that's always been something I really liked. And I remember specifically jamming out to MGMT with Zara many times. And so I think it was all kind of like in the palette of what we liked, but it just so happened that I think when I got my hands on the first real synth, and then Justice being such a capable keyboard player, coming into the band originally just to play piano, I think just led to like the opportunity was there to try something new. And then the elephant in the room, for the record, obviously we found LCD sound system, and I was like, you're allowed to do this? You're allowed to have like an orchestra and be this is awesome.
Yes, and you have an orchestra currently. I mean, we couldn't even fit the whole band in here right now. But I think you pointed on another topic where it's also a very old school sound. I'm not sure if Modern Analogue is maybe a nod to that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Could, so let's, with the risk of sounding trite, Russian Blue as a whole, all of you have a Spotify playlist. What's on there? If you put all your 9 minds together, what's on that playlist?
Oh my gosh.
Well, Dance Yourself Clean.
Dance Yourself.
I feel like that was like where I was in my mind when we were writing the record was Dance Yourself Clean, just as a concept, as a song. Yeah, look yours up.
And then you have the dance. Look at us, we're dancing. Or what's that called?
Yeah, look at us dancing.
Look at us dancing now, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's I think that LCD for us was obviously a huge influence and was like kind of a gateway into. I mean, I don't particularly just want to be that band, but I hear in that a lot of Brian Eno and a lot of David Bowie and a lot of Kraftwerk and I mean tons and tons more. But and then mixing that with like Gang of Four and Joy Division and things that way, that were all bands that I really loved already. So hearing that sort of synthesized in that way was just very inspiring. And so I find now that I'm a little more interested in trying to draw from those similar influences. I don't shut up about Brian Eno, particularly with the vocals. I mean, even the stuff we're working on now.
Practice goes? Like, make it sound more like Brian Eno.
Everyone be quiet. Let's do Brian again, everybody. Let's bring it back. But just sort of that era, like late 70s post-punk stuff, and sort of like the turn of the century, but turn of the decade, like early electronic music that's pretty unapologetically like plain, like there's not a lot of melody, there's not a lot of lyrics, it's like 8-minute club songs. I think those are fun.
And you have that song, sorry to harp on lyrics, but like doing the same thing in 1976 and 1980, what song was that?
That's the new backbeat.
2006, the new backbeat. All doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Where did you guys find that music? You are very much younger than the 70s, 80s, but you have found that and channeled into that. Is that just a Colin thing, or is that a pervasive thing?
I think at the time, because when we made that record, the band was Zara, Justino, and myself. And we had some peripheral people coming in. We had Justice coming in kind of towards the beginning of that process, Bryce coming in towards the end of it, but maybe the middle. But I think we each have our own sub-influences, Zara, Justino, and I, that very much made it into the record. I'm by no means going to claim that I'm the only one who listened to old music.
It looks like, right?
But in a wider sense, in a more holistic sense, I think the modern analog, I think, is a culmination, right, of all of our ideas in regards to 70s, 80s dance music. And the fact that we were also open-minded to doing something like that speaks to just how fluid music can be in general, right? How traversive, And I'm really grateful that I took on this opportunity. It was presented to me because I have so much fun, and I really love the music, and I really like that. I, for one, have also been able to gain a more creative sense when it comes to creating sounds, because I'm definitely not a lyricist by any means. I definitely like to dabble with sounds, in terms of piano, you have your music, you already know what to play. It's already there.
You read it.
You're pretty much there. You already know. You already have a set of instructions. So being able to be more free in that sense, in terms of my creative style, it's very nice. It's very cool.
It's been very cool seeing it. You transition from doing more like classical piano and like musical theater, and then in this band, learning about like, well, you can just play C over and over again, but it's about crafting the.
I can modulate it.
You can modulate it
down. And that was something that I never ever considered. Because coming from a more classical, a Broadway theater in an esque sense, I felt kind of rigid. Trying to channel a lot of that creative sense. I felt like, how does this thing fit? Maybe I should just stop. It was really hard for me to try to fit any of my ideas in, because I felt so rigid in that sense. But Colin, he was very patient. He was like, hey, let's
try this.
Let's figure it out. Yeah, let's try things. And he was always very, very willing to provide that support, and I'm very appreciative.
Yeah. So, a Russian Blue band practice. I hate to harp on this, but when you guys get together for band practice, do you have lamps there? What's the lighting like? Is it?
This guy has a lamp.
They are there.
This guy has a lamp. He knows so many lamps. I love his drum set. He has
we actually do have lamps.
It's very incandescent lighting, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, there's no overhead lighting up there, so there's just lamps.
Like, why are we? Why so much?
All right, so
I love it.
Russian Blue is putting out their new record, A Modern Analogue, with a release party January 31st at the Roxy. This is being put out by Pegasus Theory. And let's tell us about that.
The subject oh so sore. Let's hurry to the sweet, sweet, sweet quid pro quo chorus. You're all for listening. Let's get even for now, 'cause it'll go quick. Just glance the tip on the ballpoint. You've been clicking for dear life. Let's hurry to that sweet, sweet, sweet feeling you held on to for me when I was away. What's another day? You bought a breathalyzer. Why did I come to the coast? This is my own